This is the ultimate fat loss guide for busy professionals. If you're someone that's been struggling to lose fat for years, months, whatever it may be, and you just can't seem to get the hang of it, in addition to working your job and everything else you got going in your life, I've got you. This is what we're going to cover today. In order to finally burn that fat and finally get rid of it for good, you're going to have to focus on three main things. The first one, of course, is your workout. You're going to make sure that you have a plan that is something that is tailored to you and something that you can stick to and is tailored to specifically get you your results. And then, of course, nutrition. You can train as much as you want, but if your nutrition's bad, you're not going to see the results that you deserve. And then finally, probably the most interesting one is your energy or your energy maintenance. This is basically looking at all aspects of your energy. Are you sleeping enough? Do you have enough energy to go about your day to day, to do every other thing that's important in your life, regardless of your workouts, right? If you are tired all day and you're just by getting everything, this is not good and it's not going to allow you to finally get rid of your fat. So the three main components you need to focus on when it comes to the actual workout side of things is how many times a week are you strength training? How many times are you getting in the gym per week, lifting weights and trying to get stronger over time? If you're not doing this at all, it's probably the first reason why you're not seeing any results. At bare minimum, you should be getting into the gym two to three times a week and aiming to train all of your body. I say the easiest way to do it is a full body workout plan. So every day you train every muscle part. That way you're hitting it multiple times a week. You should spend less than 60 minutes in the gym. Anything longer than that, probably doing too much, especially if you're a beginner. Now, when it comes to cardio, you don't need to be running all the time and doing anything crazy, right? Keep it simple. So everyone says this, but it's true. If you can aim for 10K steps a day, then your body is going to prioritize burning fat as its primary energy source as you walk, which is why everyone recommends doing the 10K steps. They always say that you should do, but here's the exact reason as to why it uses fat. When you go for long runs, it uses glucose, depletes your muscles, you crave more sugar, doesn't really target that fat first and foremost. In fact, it's more likely to break down muscle first than it is fat, which isn't good. And of course, you can get your cardio in through other means. If you play sports like football or something multiple times a week, that's good. You're getting your steps in, you're playing, you're sprinting, you're running, you're doing all sorts of good stuff. If you've got a sport in place, that's good. You probably don't have to worry about this as well. But if you don't, this is what I'd say to do. And then finally, no one talks about this, is your mobility. If you're not stretching, you're going to come up with a lot of aches and pain. You've probably got back pain, knee pain, all those types of things. And if you do have those type of things, it could lead to injuries. And then if it leads to injuries, you're not going to be able to go and strength train in the gym because you're injured, meaning you don't lose that fat. So it's very important to keep mobile. Literally 5-10 minutes per day, very simple stretches is all you need in order to maintain your mobility. When it comes to nutrition, obviously you want the calories that you're consuming to be less than the calories that you're burning. And that's where you probably heard people track their calories. Actually measuring it, tracking every calorie, every gram of protein, everything. You do not need to do that, right? It does work, but it's not feasible for most people. And also it gets rid of the fact that certain foods, even though they have the same amount of calories, aren't as good for you as others. But that's a conversation for another video. So I just keep it simple and I use my plate method. So literally the plate method is this blue part here is your protein. So I recommend 75%, at minimum 50% of your plate should be made up of healthy proteins. Think your eggs, think your chicken, red meat, etc. Right? That is what you want. The other 25 to 50%, I prefer 25%, is your healthy carbs, right? Key is healthy carbs. Think of potatoes, brown rice, vegetables, that type of thing that goes here. Right? Carbs are not the enemy. Too many carbs are the enemy. Having just enough carbs is good. It's what your brain uses to function the best. And obviously you're using your brain not at your job. So that's what you need. So if you do this, the key to this is to stick to the same plate for every single meal, right? If you use the same plate for breakfast, same plate for dinner, same plate for lunch. And that way, over time, it allows you to see, have I been losing weight? Have I not been losing weight? And you can easily adjust it on this plate. You can say, I haven't been making progress. Let me just reduce the amount of volume I put on this plate while still maintaining the 75% carbs and 75% proteins and 25% carbs. It's an easy way to measure the volume of food without having to track every calorie. All right, so when it comes to energy, the two main things I want you to focus on are your sleep and your insulin. So obviously sleep is important for your energy levels, right? There's a million things you can do to make your sleep better. Not all sleep is created equal. For example, not using your phone before bed or buying some blue light blocking glasses, because blue light makes you stay awake and interrupts your sleep, right? That's important. So always make sure, people say 7 to 9 hours, right? So 7 to 9 hours, obviously aim for the upper end if you can. I know that's not always possible, but whenever you can, aim for it. Insulin is one that not many people know about. That relates more to nutrition. When you have loads of processed foods, what happens is they're very high in sugar. You consume that sugar, your body releases insulin. Too much insulin causes insulin resistance, which is a cause of diabetes, and obviously you don't want that. But also when you have too much insulin, your energy levels go up really quickly, but then they also come crashing down just as quickly, right? Whereas when you have natural healthy foods, if this is a graph, this is your energy and this is the amount of time, your energy will slowly increase throughout the day, right? And of course it will come down later on, but the point is it's slow. If you ever find yourself suddenly getting those lunchtime crashes or something like that, or mid-afternoon or late afternoon, it's usually because you've had some sort of processed food that's high in sugar that raises your insulin and drops it again. And what happens when your insulin's low? Your body wants more sugary food, but if you have that more sugary food, it goes back up again to, guess what? Crash down even more. And that is the endless cycle. So if you can focus on energy, of course your sleep and your insulin, it will allow you to ensure that you're ready for the gym. It will allow you to have the right mindset and mind state in order to eat the right foods. And of course, if you do all of those things I've mentioned together, your energy, the workouts, and nutrition, you're going to burn fat in no time. If this was helpful to you and you want to learn even more, I have a free 20-minute health audit link in my description where we can chat about your specific goals and how you can get from A to B as efficiently and as quickly as possible.